In this problem, we need to find the exact solutions of this equation here. What type of equation is it? Well, if you notice, the variables are in the exponents. So this is an exponential equation. And what type is it? Well, can I make my bases the same? Well, things look good until I get to the 30. 30 is 6 times 5, but it is not 5 raised to a nice number. So let's take another look at this equation. Notice here I have 5 raised to the x. Here I have 5 raised to the 2x. I want to look at the relationship between these two terms. So remember, if I have 5 raised to the x power and I square it, what do I get? I get 5 raised to, remember what you do to these two numbers? You're going to multiply them, so you're going to get 5 raised to the 2x. So what I'm going to do is rewrite this term here. So my equation becomes 5 raised to the x all squared plus 125 equals 30 times 5 raised to the x power. And that's going to help us because what we're going to do now is we're going to let u equal 5 raised to the x power. So this is going to become u that we will then square. So my first term is going to become u squared plus 125 equals 30 times, what's 5 raised to the x? Well, that's u. So this was an equation that was quadratic in form because now I have a quadratic equation because it is a degree 2 equation. How do we solve quadratic equations? We want to get everything on one side, 0 on the other, and then we factor or use the quadratic formula. So I am going to subtract 30u from both sides. And now, hopefully this factors. Two numbers that multiply to 125 and add to negative 30. I think those numbers are negative 25 and negative 5. So double check by foiling. U squared minus 5u minus 25u is minus 30u. Negative 25 times negative 5 is positive 125. So now all we have to do is set our two factors equal to 0. And add 25 to both sides on the first one. U is 25. Second one, add 5 to both sides. U equals 5. And some students stop at this point, but remember our original problem wants us to find x, not u. So we have to substitute back what u equals. So I know 5 to the x equals 25, and 5 to the x equals 5. Now I have two simple little exponential equations. Can we make the bases the same? Yes, I have 5 to the x equals 25 is 5 squared. Since my bases are the same, by the one-to-one property, the exponents have to be equal. So I know in this case, x has to equal 2. And for my second equation, 5 to the x equals 5 to the first power. And using the one-to-one property again, I know my exponents have to be equal, so I get x equals 1. So I have two solutions to this exponential equation. And remember, I do not have to check for extraneous solutions on exponential equations. I would if it was a logarithmic equation.